Cupcake, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an Easter cupcake with a little chick on top. Firstly, I'm going to go through the materials we're going to use today. We've got a rolling pin, we've got some ganache to put underneath our cupcake, we've got some circle cutters, a star cutter, some white, yellow, black and red fondant. And of course, we have our cupcake. We're going to start by ganaching our cupcake. So I'll put a little bit of ganache on my knife and put it in the center of the cupcake. Now we use ganache underneath fondant for a few different reasons. For flavor, as well as it will give the fondant something to stick to. So we're only a little bit on there. Now we're going to roll out a tiny circle of yellow fondant. Now this, you'll see, is it underneath the white on that cupcake. So put the cupcake over there, and now we'll just roll out a circle. Make sure that it's quite thin. There's going to be a few layers of fondant on this cupcake, so the thinner you can make it, the better. Yeah, it is thin here, so it will kind of stick to the board. But I've put a little bit of shortening, vegetable shortening underneath. You can also use icing sugar so the fondant doesn't stick. So I'm going to use this circle cutter. It's going to be just enough to cover the ganache that's there. I'm going to put that on top of the cupcake, the ganache. Well, it's going a little bit everywhere, but we're going to cover that up, so that's fine. Always remember, as I've said in previous tutorials, put the leftover fondant that you're not using in a plastic Ziploc bag or in some Glad wrap so it doesn't dry out. It will become very unworkable if it does dry out. So we're also now going to put our second layer on, which is we've actually cut out a star out of a circle, so we're going to put that on the top of the yellow fondant here. We're now going to use the white fondant, which is going to go on top of the yellow circle that we've just made. So I'm going to roll this out. Again, not too thick, but I'm making this a little bit thicker than what we did with the yellow. So I want to make sure that this, just kind of putting it over to measure it, this is the perfect size, that it will go over in the entire cupcake. So I'll cut that out. Now, put this back in here. What we're going to do now is a little bit different to the first layer. We're going to get a star cutter, and I'm going to put the star in the center of that circle, and you'll see that it ends up making a star out of it. And we also have the middle bit, which is the star. We're going to use both of these, so don't scrunch the star up in the middle. So take your cupcake and gently just put that circle over your cupcake and just tuck it into the sides. Because it was the exact same size as the cupcake, that circle cutter, it will tuck in quite nicely. You'll find if you've cut too big a circle, you'll have excess fondant and it won't look as neat. And if it's too small, you'll see a lot of the cupcake. So try and measure it as much as you can. You'll see, you can see the yellow fondant underneath. If you didn't have that yellow fondant, you'd have that ganache underneath. So just to make it look a little neater, we've just put that yellow. So you are ready now to make the chick to go on top. Now we're going to make the little chick to go on top of the cupcake. So I've taken a ball of our yellow fondant and I'm rolling it into a circle. Now this might be a little bit too big. Best thing to do, because all the different cupcakes will be different sizes. So, and I've used quite a large cupcake here, so I think this will be okay. Just plopping it on top there, and that's a really good size. This was a little bit smaller because it's a smaller cupcake, so just work through that. Now, I'm going to work with this on the actual cupcake. It will be easier for me, so I don't need to hold the little chick and I won't squash it. So I've taken that star that we used from the center of the circle before, and I'm going to put that just on his head. Now it's up to you which way you want it to go, but that's kind of showing that the chick is coming out of the egg, and he's going to have the egg shell on his head, which is quite cute, as you'll see here. Now, we're going to then make some eyes for him. So, you really don't need much white fondant for this. You don't want the eyes to be too big. And your fondant should be sticky enough that you don't need any water to stick it on. But if you do, just use a tiny little bit of water with a brush. Now, I'm just going to take that eye off because it's not quite as big as the other one. Okay, I'm just squashing them in a little bit. I'm now going to take some black fondant, an even smaller amount of black fondant, because that's going to be his little eyeball in there. And you can use any colour you want. I'm just using black and white, but he could have blue eyes if you wanted him to. So just put that on here. They're so small, they're easy to drop. And then put it in the centre of the white again. And then you've got his eyes on there. He also needs a little beak on him. So best thing to do is get a little bit of red fondant, roll it into a circle. Now, what you can do, and this is a very small ball, so it will be a little bit difficult to do, but grab the end of that ball and actually just roll it in your fingers. And what you want to do is end up having kind of like a cone shape. So you roll the ball into a circle and then get the end of it and roll that again. And I might just squish it a little bit to make it look a little bit more like a beak. I'm now going to put that on him. I'll just turn it around. And that's his beak. So you could do, anything you wanted with this. You can put your own personal touch to it. You could give him little feet, kind of cut that out from the yellow fondant. You could either put that at the bottom of the cupcake, or you could put it underneath him there, whatever you kind of so desire. It's totally up to you, but this is a really good base for an Easter cupcake. The other thing that you can do, what I've done here, if you're giving it to someone as a gift for Easter, you can put a little bit of ribbon around it and put it in a box, which is really nice. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial on how to make an Easter cupcake. We launch one tutorial a month. You can also see some step-by-step tutorials on our Facebook page, facebook.com/HelloCupcakeAustralia, or visit our website, hellocupcake.com.au. We'll see you next month. Bye.